And then, Bob, should I wear this? It is truly my honor to accept the position as board chair of the Jewish Federation of St. Louis. I'm here tonight because of the inspiration and support of many, many people. And I'd like to begin my remarks with some thank yous. First, to my late parents, Rosemary and Jerry Flantz. My mother was a longtime community volunteer and a former president of the Women's Division of the Jewish Federation. And my father, a beloved physician, set a high bar in our family, and I think for so many of you, for caring for others. And yes, I look more and more like my mother. And as an aside, I want to thank all of you tonight who've brought to me wonderful memories of my dad, who is very much with us tonight in spirit. My brother Steve devoted his professional life to community planning and development, and I became a psychotherapist married to a psychiatrist. So to those among you who have asked why I have accepted this challenge, I think the simple answer is that it's genetic. Secondly, I want to thank the inspiring women leaders of the Federation who have gone before me and who have been personal mentors to me. The late Louise Goldman, a former president of the Women's Division, Lynn Liss, who's a remarkable leader in our community, and Nancy Sewak and my good friend Sheila Greenbaum, who preceded me as the first two women presidents of the Federation. I also want to thank my most immediate mentor, our newest past board chair, Bob Millstone, as you have heard, an incredible force for progress in our community. Under Bob's leadership, the new foundation for the Federation has been laid, the strategic plan implemented, our new CEO is in place, and we are on the move. And speaking of our new CEO, I have to add my congratulations. One short year ago, we welcomed Andrew. I think all who have met him have been impressed by his intelligence, his passion, and his vision, and it is an honor to serve with him and our outstanding professional staff. As I was preparing my remarks for tonight, I was reminded of the rules of essay writing that I learned in the 6th grade at the hand of Nancy Freund Kalishman. Who, what, where, when, how, and why. The goals of the Jewish Federation, the what, the where, and the when, have been clearly identified in very broad parameters to strengthen the identity and engagement of future generations, to serve the needs of the most vulnerable members of our community, to advocate for a strong and safe Israel, and to develop the leadership and infrastructure we need to flourish in the future. So tonight, I want to focus my remarks on the who, the how, and the why. So let me begin with the who. In September of 2001, my husband Jack and I traveled to Israel on a Federation mission whose purpose was to offer support and to show solidarity with Israelis during the Second Intifada. I well remember before that trip anxiously calling Stephen Cohen, our vice president of the Federation, if it really were safe to go to Israel under the circumstances. On the second day of our trip, September 11th, at the very moment of the attack on the Twin Towers in New York City, we were in Jerusalem, and within minutes of the attack, had the unique experience of praying at the wall. That night, the Israelis invited us to a dinner at the King David Hotel, brought in emergency crisis counselors for us, and Salai Marador, at the time the head of the Jewish Agency and a future ambassador to the United States, came to console and support us. It was a profound evening on many levels. We had gone to Israel to support the Israelis, and in a moment, the tables turned and they reached out to us. I realized as never before the power and the meaning of being one people, one with Jews everywhere. Over the next 10 years, I devoted most of my volunteer time to learning about and helping to evaluate programs and services that our Federation provides for Jews in need in St. Louis and in faraway places like Minsk, Sderot, Yokneam, Megiddo, Jerusalem. I've met incredible social service providers throughout the Jewish world, and it has been a privilege to help our Federation establish priorities for meeting, intervention, and service. My professional career in St. Louis began at Jewish Family and Children's Service as a caseworker. And since then, which was a long time ago, my work life has been devoted to the mental health needs in this community. In my experience, no one here or abroad can provide social services as well as the Jewish community. As a community, we have been such a source for growth and change and good. But as Bob Dylan said long ago, you don't need a weatherman to see which way the wind blows. We can continue to strengthen this community we love and both secure and enlarge our philanthropic goals through a fuller understanding of who we are today, through developing more meaningful points of connection for all members of this community, and through fully utilizing modern means of marketing and communication. One of our greatest strengths as Jews is that we are a communal people. But what does it mean to be a communal people in 2013? Who makes up our community today? And how is that different from years gone by? When my parents married in 1937, there was controversy within our family. My mother was a Reformed German Jew, my father an Orthodox Russian Jew from Lithuania by way of Brooklyn. My mother's family, which had been among the first Jewish families in St. Louis in the mid-19th century, was concerned. Today, 50% of Jewish marriages are interfaith marriages, and many new members in our congregations are intermarried. Our community is made up not only of descendants of Russian and German Jews. Today, we are interfaith families, gay and lesbian Jews, Jews by choice, and in Israel, we are a melting pot of Sephardic, Eastern European, Russian, Scottish, Ethiopian, and so on. In St. Louis, we are Orthodox, conservative, Reform, Reconstructionist, and unaffiliated. In Israel, 20% is Haredi, there's a nucleus of a Reform community, and the majority is secular. This reality presents us with a huge challenge and an enormous opportunity, because we need as a community to find ways to connect people in common cause, and we need to find new ways to do this. Our donor base, both locally and nationally, has shrunk substantially over the last 10 years, not all of which can be ascribed to demographics or the economy. To reverse this trend, we need to make the Jewish community accessible and relevant to a wider audience, and we need to think outside the box about how to reach and engage people. We've made some tangible progress in creative engagement and collaboration. Our concierge program for young families has been very successful. Some of our congregations have made it a priority to be inclusive of interfaith families in their preschools and other congregational programs. The JCC has become a comfortable point of entry for all in our community, and our Reform and conservative day schools have joined to create the Saul Mirowitz Community School, the first of its kind in the nation. We have seen that quality day school education is extremely important in attracting and keeping Jewish families in St. Louis, and we will continue to support a vibrant Orthodox community with strong school opportunities. But we still need to conscientiously work to engage non-traditional households. We need to work to reduce any stigma attached to others' choices and the tendency to exclude those whose choices are different from our own. I stand before you tonight as the third intermarried board chair. The spouses of your intermarried presidents have been incredibly devoted to the Jewish community in countless ways because they have all felt welcomed and valued. Think for a moment how much energy and talent this community would have lost without the support and participation of Judy Harris, Colleen Millstone, and now Jack Krogan. Jackson, thank you for your seemingly endless support of the Jewish community. How we engage people in the community has also changed over the past few years. We have a plethora of both traditional and untraditional engagement and service opportunities for both donors and recipients. Truly, the list is staggering. From PJ Library to camps to kosher meals, homemaker services, and daycare for our seniors. We've seen the incredible power of the Birthright Initiative for all our young people under the age of 25, bold, daring, expensive, and effective. And through the generosity of the Rubin family, for the past 5 years, we've had the Rubin Experience for young people ages 27 to 45. Again, bold, innovative, and effective. Finding meaningful ways to connect the next generation to Israel, educating our community about the realities and nuances of modern Israel will continue to be a focus of my efforts. To that end, we will be bringing some unique learning opportunities to St. Louis this fall, a residency by the Arab Hebrew Theater from Jaffa, and a weekend with the Israeli Arab educator Dalia Fadila, and in the spring, we are planning an interfaith mission to Israel. But creating programs is only half the challenge of creative engagement. The larger challenge, besides working to appeal to a broader audience, is getting the word out and communicating effectively, particularly to donors under 50 who will be the lifeblood of this community in the future. How we communicate has begun to change and must change. We used to, and not so very long ago, send letters and answer home telephones. But today we email, we post on Facebook, we tweet, we blog, we Instagram. We're on the cusp of understanding how best to utilize social media and what it might mean for us. We believe that enlarging our online presence, both for engagement purposes and fundraising purposes, will help us to communicate with and broaden our donor base. We're looking closely at the world of e-philanthropy, still in its infancy, but which has incredible potential to inspire, connect, and ultimately raise significant dollars. Our marketing and development departments are working hard on these initiatives. Most importantly, using better communication tools will help us tell the stories of the literally thousands of lives your dollars affect every year. Which brings me finally, and I promise finally, to the why. Why is this important? The reason for all these efforts, the reason we care about all these factors, understanding who we are as a Jewish community, how we engage people, how we communicate with each other, how we grow. The reason is simple: philanthropy, love of humanity. The reason is the collective future of our people. The reason are the hundreds of traumatized children in Sderot who've lived through countless rocket barrages from Gaza. The reason are the hundreds of children in foster care in Israel who deserve to go to a safe summer camp. The reason are the hundreds of impoverished seniors without adequate medical care or nutrition in the former Soviet Union. The reason is the family in economic or emotional distress here in St. Louis. The reasons are compelling and important and speak to the best parts in each of us. I have often heard people criticize Federation because, quote, all you do is ask for money. Year after year, we hear the campaign slogans, tomorrow, today, thriving together, fund the need. It's hard to come up with new and catchy phrases, but can you imagine an annual campaign with the moniker of "Don't Give" or "Keep your money to yourself"? The community is just fine without it. Don't give. I actually read recently that philanthropy is good for the brain, in which case I think there are many, many really smart people in this room tonight. I know for certain that the satisfactions to be found in giving, in being philanthropic to the best of our abilities, benefit ourselves as deeply as it benefits others. Giving, the need to give back, is alive and well. But unless people feel welcome and connected, and they can see how their gifts make a difference in people's lives, they will give elsewhere. Philanthropy, tzedakah, is as old as our people. It is a mantle we proudly wear and lovingly nurture in our children. In this new year of 5774, may we go forward with renewed energy, creativity, and optimism, and a willingness to think differently and engage differently than we have in the past, so that together we can continue to build a secure and safe and inspiring Jewish world.